As you can tell, I've got most of the engine together. So I get my timing chain in, and I've got my tensioner. Got the piston and cylinder, of course, and there's a whole previous video there shows how you're supposed to line up the rings. And anyway, I've got the cam in there and the rockers. I've just got done adjusting the valves. It's a good time to do it right now. You just gotta make sure you're top dead center, which you should be if you're, when you're timing it, right? So I've put the chain on. I've lined up the keyway right here for up this way, right? And basically that's top dead center. And on the cam gear, there's a 0 right there, and you gotta make sure that's up top. So it lines all the way down. That's top dead center. So while you're there, you may as well adjust your tappets. So the book here for me says to set it at 0.002 inches with a feeler gauge, and I set mine at 0.003. Reason being is I don't have a feeler gauge for 0.002. I've got one for 0.003, and it's totally acceptable. I've done it on the other bikes, and it's fine. So that's all done. Next step now will be to put the covers on, and then cover on this side, both sides here, and then start putting in the plate here, the stator and all that stuff, and we'll see how that goes. Okay, so got the heads are on and torqued. Now, according to the manual, just a blind nut, I guess, these ones right here, goes on this side. So if the engine's in its position, carburetor up here, exhaust down below, face the engine. So facing the engine, bottom right side is the regular nut with a regular sealing washer, and the rest of them are acorn nuts. And then on this one here, left side bottom, I guess the copper one goes down below that sealing nut. The sealing washer is the copper one. And why? I have no idea. I really don't. So I'm just following the manual on that part. So my next step here will be to put the plate on, stator plate. So here it is, and I just got to replace the seal, and I've already replaced this one in here that goes around right here. Don't forget that one. You got this one, and then pops in, and then you've also got the little seals here that go right here for the so that it won't weep oil from behind the plate for the bolts. You gotta put those on also. There's one here and there's one up top here, and don't forget those ones before you put your plate in. Well, it's been a while since I've shot any videos on this bike. As you can tell, I've got the engine into the frame. Just got this over top here because I don't have the carburetor on, or spark plug, or the exhaust on. I've got all the parts except for the air breather box. I'm missing the side cover and the filter, and I'm missing also the boot that goes from the carburetor to the box, the filter box. So those are on their way. Other than that, I've got the side cover. I just haven't put them on yet because got to put the chain on, of course, to the back. So yeah, it's coming along pretty good. Like I said, got all the parts, just waiting for them to come in. Other than that, not much more to say about the bike. I'll slowly be working on it here and filming. But from now on, it's just basically putting it back together. And after that, starting it and adjusting it. And that's about it. They'll be done. Both bikes will be done. Been a couple of years, but with family and whatnot, you do it when you get time in the garage. Here's the other one, the 73, I think it is. I think I've been calling it a 74, but it's either 73 or 74. It's kind of like in between. So this one here, we drive it, use it. I haven't really filmed anything on it as that we're using it. That'll come later. once I get the other one going here, we'll have both going. So I'll maybe do some GoPro shots of us riding him. So that's it for now. As you can tell, I started putting the rock guard on, or if you want to call it skid plate or whatever, right here. And I put the peg assembly on. This is an aftermarket peg assembly. Got it offline. I couldn't find, well, I could find the original ones, but they want a fortune for them, and they're all beat to hell. They're all bent. So anyway, I got one of these aftermarket ones, and it's a bit wider. We'll see. I don't know. To me, it looks a little weird, but it might be fine. This one has got the side stand and the center stand. So I find the center stand is too low. So when it's brought up, but we'll see as we're driving it. If I find it's too low, I'm gonna take the center stand off. It looks like it's only held in there by a cotter pin and a pin going through with a spring right here. So it should be fairly easy to remove. One thing also to let people know that are rebuilding these, probably a good 90% of them, right here, the bottom of the motor, where the peg assembly and the skid plate hooks up, that mounting point is usually stripped. So what I've done is I've tapped it out to a common size. I tapped it out to a 3/8, and then use some blue Loctite. Don't use red. Red Loctite's there forever. Blue Loctite though is just fine. So that's what I have to have done. Also on the engine itself, let me take my little sock off here. As you also, when you're looking at putting on the exhaust, see if I can get a shot of it here. The studs right here. You got one right here for the exhaust mounting. Mine were stripped also. I had to tap them out, and I made my own studs, and I put red Loctite in there because I don't want those to ever come out, and so that way I can just slide the manifold on and then bolt it up. So that's about it. I'm going to keep working on it. I just got to finish hooking up this skid plate, mount it up to the frame, and probably put the chain on next and the side cover. So some work to be done still. I'm still waiting for some parts for my airbox. And also for those who've bought the aftermarket mufflers, I've got one right here. Haven't put it on yet, but before I put it on, one of the things I've noticed is that they're restrictive a bit with the exhaust flow. And I'm not too sure if you'll be able to see this here. Okay, so I'm not sure if you'll be able to see this. But, okay, so this is my exhaust. I've got it kind of laying sideways on my bench. And right now I'm showing you a view from the inside where this hooks up to the head. So take a look. Look how restrictive that is. Look all the weld that's in there, all that buildup. I can barely fit my finger inside that hole. So that's going to be very restrictive for getting rid of the exhaust. So before I put this exhaust in, I'm going to take a Dremel, and I'm going to take all that stuff out so it's nice and big in there so that the exhaust will flow out better. Okay, so back to square one. As you can tell, I had to pull my engine out, and it's on my bench. The reason being is that my kickstart's not working. So it's like as if there's nothing there, like it's turning into nothing. Like pull down on it and it doesn't grab or nothing. So I thought it might have been my clutch that was sticking, but it's not. So it looks like I'm going to have to split the motor apart again and take a look and see if I made a mistake in here putting in that kickstart shaft.